Well, I wanted to touch on something else. Right, you said, for example, you were saying about like you don't want to raise when there's no real reason or opportunity that's really lined up, And then, for example, the other day, you had expanded your storage space and your production space. And I think that was a great thing because when I was still at UWI at the time, I was looking and said, to me, it looks like it kind of fit a little bit of a glass ceiling in production. So I said, well, these guys probably need to expand the production a little bit more.
Justin, you're so wise. Oh my goodness. You foresaw it because that was just a couple of years ago and, we're in need of space again.
There we go. That speaks great for the business.
Yes.
For sure. It also touched on succession planning, right? So I know a lot of the companies locally, a lot of them would have been family businesses, even the ones that are listed, but not a lot of them really have that step in, that pattern lined up to pass on to their younger generation to take over. So what's been that mindset for you, So, for example, for you, it would have been easy to go and work into your husband's business, but then, maybe your kids might have something different in mind.
Surely. And that's the case most times, that people's children are not necessarily going to want to take over the business. So I see a lot of that, where the children have grown up and they've become professionals and they don't want to take over a bakery. But our children have worked in the business. They like working in the business. And part of the reason, too, is because they're learning so much. Now, if you can have your 26-year-old son sitting at a board meeting, what kind of experience is that? That's tremendous. And they're talking about strategy, right? So I was not one of those lucky kids. I had to wait until quite a number of years before I was exposed to that level of business. So my children are more likely to want to be in the business because they know it so well. And that's luck too. Because funny enough, the two sons that are working in the business, one manages operations and he studied engineering, and the other one studied business and he manages distribution. And they work very well together. So the synergy is there. So I am very lucky that I have these children working in the business. But it doesn't have to be like that. So with a public company, you can develop people who are not your children to take over. And even in a family business, the best fit may not be one of the children to take over the business.
Absolutely true.
It might be an employee. But once you're going through the board of directors and you're having conversations and you're doing certain things in the business like evaluations and training, the person who will need to succeed will stand out. I don't look favorably on just hiring a new person. I think that you need to develop the people in the business so that they can be the one that take over because they know the business.
Right, exactly. Just in the way how you would have had to start from basically scratch and build yourself and get acquainted to all the manners and the facets and every cog in the machine,
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
All right. And so shifting a little bit over now, speaking about, say, the deals that you would have had to play a part, can you tell us anything about those? Like maybe some deals that have gone before and how you would have played a part in setting those up?
It was so interesting because we've had quite a number of people come to us for deals as it relates to buying into the business. Quite a few. And they go for some very interesting stories. Okay. I remember we had this one person, foreign, and he was so interested and he flew down to Jamaica. It was the year we were going public. And, it sounded so good.
Yeah.
And we were using a broker at the time because we were already going public. So we were in a relationship with a broker. And Justin, there are just cues that you have to tune into when somebody wants to take you over. So we had to be very in tune with what was happening. And I remember my husband standing up to meeting and he said, "This deal is over." And it shook everybody because he's not always so vocal, but he's very perceptive on what is going down. So, you never know. The deals that sound good at the beginning, but if you just don't rush into it, you can probably use some wisdom and intuition to evaluate. And sometimes I wonder what would have happened.
Right. There's always that what if.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the important thing when you're doing a deal, I think, or what we have learned, is to make sure that the vision you have is the same as the vision they have. If you have a difference of vision, you're going to argue about everything. So our vision has been different, and we're very careful now to select people to do business with who share the same values and vision as we have. Nothing is wrong with theirs. You just have to be the same.
Exactly. Everybody has to be on that same page, to establish that. Okay, this is what we're going for. This is what we want right here. And if the vision doesn't align, then we're just not going to get to that same place. We're not going to get to that destination or that goal that we're applying for.
Right. So I have found that especially with the Honey Bun Foundation, which was formed in 2019, November, 2 years now. And, what we have found is we have a vision for the foundation, which is to support SMEs through developing business models for them. So it's not a one-on-one hand-holding that we do. We develop best practice so that once you go into the space, if you know what the best practices are, you're more likely to succeed. So you don't have to be like Michelle Chong to take years to do her business. You can know this is the best way to go about this. That is the best way. So the thing about the foundation is that we have not had to do any marketing to get partners. They literally fall in our lap because once we start to talk about our vision, you attract people. So they will come to you and say, "Hey, I hear you're doing that. Oh, that's a good idea. We're doing this." And then you find that the alignment of vision, once you're very focused on what you want to achieve, causes you to quickly come together and do massive improvements or massive work. So far, the Honey Bun Foundation has launched a training calendar where you can go. We talked about small businesses not planning enough. You can plan the training for your organization for the year, because most of the trainers who are out there anyway, we don't do the training. We get everybody who is doing training at a high level to put them on the platform, and that can be seen at thehoneybunfoundation.com. So you can see, you go to the training calendar and you can see all the training that there is. I even use it. I say to my company secretary, go there and look for the training that our directors need this year. Okay. Simple. So she doesn't have to be shopping around Jamaica to find them. So if you're a small business and you want to learn some skills in how to develop spreadsheets or write a business plan, you can go there. So that was the first business model that we developed, the training platform. The second one was to have an app on your phone, so small businesses can download the app on their iPhone or Android, answer about a dozen questions, and then the app is going to give you feedback as to what are the gaps in your business. Because those people who are answering the questions, they're not doing it from a knowing what they need. They're doing it from I didn't know that this is the right thing to do. Right. So the Gap app, which is called GAPPAPP, will give you feedback. It will give you a scorecard with some colors, red, yellow, and green, as to what you're doing well, what you need to improve, and what you're not doing well at all. So after it gives you that, it will lead you to the organizations in Jamaica that actually will help you with the gaps that you have. So from the back end, what we get to see is what are the weaker areas in Jamaica from the small businesses. So two of the areas that I'm sharing with you is corporate governance and productivity. If those are shouting loudly that those are the things small business are not doing enough of. So we can in turn adjust our training calendar to offer more or promote those programs more. The third one is an advisory board, which we're about now completing, where we've developed a model where companies can have advisors for their companies. And, if I spoke about it, I'd probably take too long. And then the fourth one that we will be doing is back office support. So just to be able to say that these are the things Honey Bun is doing to serve the greater good.
Yeah, man, I love that, man, because I've always known that you've been passionate about SMEs, like the small, the medium businesses that are really on the come up now, because these are really the engines that drive the economy. You always have the big players, they're going to do what they do. But, when you have the people now who have all these ideas, the great innovators in Jamaica trying to make use of the resources that are available now and to really just develop the business, man. That's how you really get that's how you really spur the market and the movement and the distribution of wealth in the country,
Yes. So just to add one more thing, we also advocate for the creative industry because that is where Jamaicans' creativity is.
Exactly.
So we need to find ways to develop their business skills so that they can make money out of their talent and not just give it away free or be casual about it. There's a lot of money being left on the table for creatives.
Oh, for sure.
So if they can develop some business skills or develop somebody within their organization to manage it like a business, then there's much to be gained.
Absolutely, man. I definitely agree with you there. All right, Michelle. That's been great. There's been a lot of information, a lot of insight, and I really got a lot of value from it. I hope you guys have been listening keenly, probably taking notes and looking into it, checking out going on JamStockX website, checking out Honey Bun and seeing what's going on with them there, And if you could just backtrack just a little bit more to what we were saying before about, opportunities for growth or plans going forward, as an 876 Invest exclusive.
So look out for new products and innovative products. And we have to build our capacity in order to do that. And we are. So that's yours.
Enough said. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Michelle. It has been great, guys. Yeah, man. Guys, here we are again providing the value for you. And, if you want to get more on this, stay tuned. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, our website, 876invest.com. You can also check out Michelle Chong. You can Google her. She's always out there. She's on. You can check out Honey Bun, go through the boards and everything that you may need. Once again, thank you so much for your time, Michelle.
Thank you.